This lovely user here has just seen me in the background of someone's Tinder photo. No matter how well we think we know ourselves, it's always our closest friends that pick up on our weirdest quirks and habits that we didn't even know we had. You see, the other day, my friend and I were joking about how one of our friends has like a couple catchphrases that he always says in every conversation. And so we pretended to be him for a bit and we're like, genuinely, la la la. And it was quite a fun time until she pointed out, I also have catchphrases. And I'm like, no, I don't. I'm an original guy. Everything is always new. However, it turns out I say things exactly the same all the time. So for your How to Be Evan starter pack, the 3 things that I say more than anything else, it seems, are listen, clearly, and sure. It doesn't sound like much, but if I'm in a conversation or an argument or something, I'll be like, listen, clearly this is something that, and I just throw those 2 all the time, and then while I'm listening as an active listener to show like I'm actually like paying attention, I'll be like, sure. And then I jump into my own point. So there you go. Weird. This is because someone has asked me, what are your weird habits? That's one. Weird catchphrases that now you can be me if you want to just say those things. It's a Q&A, but more of like a chill chat one where I'm just kind of expounding upon things. Let's do it. Where is somewhere in the UK you never want to visit? Well, I've heard Hull is a whole lot of nothing. Genuinely, I don't really know what's up there except viral videos of like road rage and stuff like that. Hull, probably. I mean, I've already been to Warsaw, so how are your avocado trees doing? Let's check them out. Here are my avocados in their current state. I've brought in the big ones. They're a bit too big for my house. The one at the top there, genuinely, he's kind of at the ceiling and I'm kind of concerned because I don't want to chop him back, but I don't know what to do about him. And these are the guys that I planted in the video a couple months ago. Really healthy boys right now. Probably looking at about 1.5 feet. Really healthy growth, and I brought them in because it does get cold in England and I just don't want them to get hurt. Also, I love it when you guys tweet me the photos of the avocado plants that you guys have grown. It's really cool that I've started an avocado movement, at least of a couple people. Yeah, show me those plants. I wish I could keep them outside, but I'm too scared as an avocado dad to, let them get too cold. How are your cooking skills doing? Made any new dishes? Actually, it's now been a full year since I took my little trip to Munich last year to like teach myself lots of skills, cooking being one of them. And since then, I can genuinely say I have gotten so much better at cooking. I have certain dishes that I can just make off the top of my head. I can make this delicious mild chicken curry with a sultana rice. Sometimes I spice it up a bit. Other times I can make this delicious chipotle burger with sweet potato fries. It doesn't sound that complicated, but I didn't know that you can just make burgers with mincemeat, a little bit of kneading, and I need to eat it right now. I'm also pretty good at making a creamy pesto chicken farfalle, a couple different other pasta dishes. Like, I've got so many meals under my belt now that I'm actually pretty darn good at cooking. I like that I can just cook things by heart, or by brain, I guess. And also, if you just give me a recipe, I'm able to do it. Don't ask me to be on Bake Off, but at least I wouldn't be as bad as I was last year. So, personal growth, cooking up in the noggin. I don't want to be on the show because I would lose. It's a bad pun. Maybe that's why I should be on the show. the puns. Is it weird living with a couple? Well, yeah, living with a couple is not really that big of a deal. It's basically like the same as living with 2 friends, especially because they're not really into PDA, so you don't see them doing stuff together, which is good, because like I said, it's like living with 2 normal people. Don't really notice it that much. They're not really like, hey, you mind if I make out on your coffee machine? That's not something that happens. I hope. My coffee machine. Don't frick on my spawn! Opinions on Extinction Rebellion. Hot take, I think we as a society need to take more note of climate change. This is something that we should be worried about. I do agree with the most of the intent of the organization. However, a lot of the delivery, it falls really flat with me. I understand protests. I understand protests are meant to be disruptive. However, you gotta make sure you're disrupting the right people. The other day, these absolute fools decided to stand up on the London DLR holding Extinction Rebellion signs and being like, whoa, and they shut the train system down, and then people pulled them down and then kicked them. Do I support the violence against them? Absolutely not. Do I understand why people did it? Most likely. Yes. Of all the services to disrupt in the city of London, the DLR, really? The least carbon emitting form of public transportation in the city? I mean, what are you doing? Like, that just seems so stupid. How about you disrupt all the cars, maybe the big taxi areas? They've done this before. I've been like, it's annoying, but they're doing a good job. Disrupting public transport for people that have nothing to do with this? Nah. The organization might say like, oh, those people that were holding signs up with our company name, they weren't with us. Well, those are the type of people that you're trying to attract, then maybe think about the messaging. Maybe your messaging should be less like, hey guys, This time tomorrow, we'll all be dead, and maybe let's try and work together. You know, that just makes more sense. I don't know. I understand it's not a cool opinion to have, but if maybe they should just go for the parliamentary people that are, passing the laws. Disrupt their lives a lot, because they're the ones they're trying to get to, right? Not the every Joe Blow in East London. Come on, let people get to their jobs. Come on. Hello, Evan. I know that you've inspired me to start learning a new language, and probably others also. How do you feel about inspiring so many people to learn a new thing? I've said this before, but it is one of my greatest accomplishments in that I've inspired people to do something as great as learning a language. That makes me very happy inside. If you're one of those people, thank you. Not just for you, but thank yourself. You're freaking doing it. Language learning is so freaking cool. I'm glad that I can help promote that to people, and the fact that it's worked for me in terms of, learning via free services, great. I'm trying to do it more. I'm putting a lot more time into Spanish. Hopefully I get to make even more videos about language learning, except moving on to Spanish. And also, further on my German tree, I'm planning some videos about once I get to past B1 level, how I'm going from there. I don't know, I find this stuff interesting. I would never have imagined I'd make this stuff on YouTube, ever, when I was younger, but this is the stuff that I'm interested in, and that's what I'm making videos about. So I'm glad that y'all joining me for this journey. Heck yes. I saw the other day some indirects about me where it's like, oh, Evan, he's the one that learns the languages. He got me to do this. And I'm like, that's so cool. I'm happy to be known for that, That's great. If I can add a small amount of positivity in the world and it's language learning, cool, man. Yeah. The coolest thing would be if I get to speak to a lot of you at meet and greets in German or eventually Spanish. I'm not up to Spanish yet. However, I'm at the level on Duolingo where I actually never take the lessons. I just keep testing out the new ones because maybe I just have all this Spanish buried in my brain from high school. I think that might be it. Just really need more practice. Do you watch Shane Dawson? This isn't meant to be a hot take Q&A. I don't currently watch Shane Dawson. I think he's very talented. He makes a lot of really cool stuff. I've watched one of his series because I thought I was slightly involved in the situation. I was like, this is pretty good. It's pretty good and interesting. A bit long for what it delivered, but it was still entertaining, which is the main thing. I also met him at my first ever VidCon, and he was a bit of a shy person, but also totally lovely guy. However, it's hard to talk about this type of thing without immediately starting tea. It's not tea. Who am I? I just really don't like the flex culture that's promoted by so many YouTubers on the platform of hey, let me interview this fabulously wealthy person who has so much money that he just spends thousands of dollars on shirts. I don't care. I don't think that's a good thing to promote to people. I don't think young people should be looking at that and going, I can't wait to have that much money that I can just waste it. And it makes me feel a bit sick. I think he did a couple series on some YouTubers that are that fabulously wealthy, and it's okay if you're that rich. That's cool. It's not a jealous thing as much as I just really don't like flex culture at all. And so to even promote it in a slight way, wow, look how this rich person lives, it makes me go, no, you could do something else. And I'd be like, but hey, people want to watch, they want to watch, so there you go. Lukewarm tea. What are the hardest Americanisms to give up? Do you say pavement/tap, or are you all about the sidewalk/faucet? I do still say faucet. I say spigot sometimes, just to mess with British people. But the ones that I do slightly flip-flop on are pavement. Sometimes I do say pavement, other times I say sidewalk. But a lot of times, I do really appreciate the words that show where I'm from, and so I've kept a lot of them, especially because, yeah, I've got a lot of weird New Jersey words, but I keep them, okay? That's who I am. And then I also understand, how to speak correctly, okay? Calm down. Can you say a segment in Spanish for us? No, lo siento, pero no puedo. Any advice for crippling test anxiety? I love your videos talking about anxiety and mental health. It makes me feel less alone. I'd say the best way to avoid test anxiety is to just make sure you know that topic front and back. Spend the extra time doing some extra exercises, do the work, put in the effort, and then when you show up to the test, it'll be hard to be stressed because you're so confident. The more confident you get about the subject, the less anxiety you should have, in theory. So, hope it works. Just gotta do more work, annoyingly. Hi, Evan. How often do you get sick? And when you get sick, is it really bad, or do you get sick often and not very bad? If you can't tell, guys, I've actually just gotten over a cold. I'm still dealing with it today. My nose is full, sore throat, could barely sleep because it hurts to swallow. Ugh. I only get sick once, maybe twice a year, and it's usually not good, no bueno. But the one this week wasn't so bad. I just felt like crap and was sneezing and coughing all over the place. That's okay. I make sure to drink all my orange juice, and I've got a pretty healthy lifestyle, so I think that's how I'm able to curb it so much. How do I edit and post videos when I have two jobs and no time to edit or post? Do I hire an editor? This is actually a good question. I like that there's other creator type people that follow me. Hi. So I do not think you should hire an editor. unless you are really liking working 2 jobs and have so much money extra that you're like, I'll just pay an editor. I've never paid an editor. I don't think I ever will. I love editing videos, and I love that is such an extra layer of quality and humor that I can add to it. Things that you guys totally wouldn't have noticed that I've changed in my editing style in the last year. Instead of just having text like pop on screen like this, instead I'll have things spin and then zoom and then slowly change and then whoop, come back with sound effects. That takes so much extra work, and yet I just enjoy the product so much more that's how I do it. You don't have to do that first if you don't have the time. But I feel like if you don't have that much time to edit videos because of your current situation, just try and manage your time a bit better, which sounds a bit snarky. It's not meant to be. It's just, I've definitely been there. I remember working 30+ hours a week at a pizza joint while also taking an 18-credit semester at university and trying to edit videos for my daily vlog channel and weekly channel. It was crazy. And not to include that I also had a second job for the Christmas period. I was crazy. I don't know how I used my time so well. Maybe I just didn't go outside. It's not true. I still did lots of stuff. I think you just really have to be good at time management. And the way of doing that is to prioritize things in your head, and maybe don't spend as much time on Instagram in the morning, or don't spend as much time doing things where you're like, this doesn't give me a lot of value in the end. You know, you gotta get your money from the jobs, and then if you really want to do the YouTube stuff, you just gotta prioritize it. So it's annoying because you don't make anything from it at first, but if you really love making it, it shouldn't be annoying at all, right? So it's happened to me. Anyway, best of luck, and yeah, keep it up. What is your favorite dish in the UK? Mine's beans on toast. Whose favorite dish is beans on toast? That is the most essentially bland British dish. Like, that is such a good example of British food. It's just like starchy blah on starch. Blah, blah. How? That's not my favorite dish. Just curry. I always say curry's just a perfect dish. I love a curry. But beans on toast? No, I don't think I'll ever like beans on toast. It's always just you can't love beans on toast. It's like saying I love Facebook. Nobody loves Facebook. It's just kind of there. It serves a purpose. You don't love it. If anything, quite the opposite, you know? What is the best cookie you've ever eaten? Americans, back me up on this, okay? In the comments, Snickerdoodle. All right, there's no competition. If you've never had a Snickerdoodle, you never had a good cookie. It's not true, there's a lot of good cookies out there, but Snickerdoodle is definitely my favorite. I've tried to bake some in the last month, failed miserably. They were like Snicker pancakes. They're cinnamony, they're delicious. I love them, they're fluffy, but you can't really get them here. I miss them a lot. Piano. How is piano? Well, great. Me. Time, but I don't. Yeah. Actually, I do have enough time. I've been practicing quite a bit. It's nearly the end of this book. Got like 1 song left. Chattanooga Choo Choo. You need to stop traveling, spend more time traveling on the keys. Not like that. But I still treat it like something I very much enjoy, and so it's not a hassle. When I practice, it's like, relaxing. It's good for anxiety, to be honest. How do you think of content for your videos, and do you ever get stuck for ideas? I mean, almost on a weekly basis, I'm like, ooh, what am I gonna do this week? And then somehow, epiphany, bam, I'm good to go. Now, I like doing these videos every once in a while, these Q&As, because clearly the content is easier to create and come up with, as opposed to content that's just solely like information-based. But that stuff takes a lot more work than you guys imagine it would, especially in terms of sourcing interesting, good content, finding someone that fits that topic, and then making sure it's a good thing, you know? But I feel like so much of the content I've been making recently is similar to that in terms of like, people watch that, who is this Evan guy? As opposed to the fact that I started this channel to be a vlogger, you know, to be me. Hey, it's me. So I like that I get to do, it's me. I like doing these videos every once in a while, and I want to make more videos that are just like stories and or stuff about my personal life. I feel like I miss doing that type of thing. I get so caught up in making these like really exciting type of videos, but I can't just make those. You're gonna run out eventually. But in actual answer to your question, how do I come up with all these ideas? It's genuinely pub banter. I'm having a chat with someone over drinks. We're chatting about different things. They're like, wait, what do you mean? You don't pronounce the word geyser? And I'm like, no, it's geyser. You know, obviously that's a weird topic, but we'll be talking about taxes, and then someone will find that really interesting. I'm like, I find it interesting. I'll make a video about it, you know? That's basically it. Things that I'm interested in become videos. Easy. Simple. Are you gonna stream on Twitch again soon? I miss streaming a lot. I was streaming like every day at one point, and then I hit a slump, and then I just stopped. I've been traveling, I've been sick, I have excuses. There's a lot of stuff going on personal life-wise that I basically want to make sure that my mental health is good, and so I had to cut some things out. Streaming was the first thing I had to cut to make sure I had time to work on YouTube videos, to work on like travel vlog editing, to do all these other things, and I miss it so much. But when I come back to it, it's gonna feel nice and good, and I'm not forced to do it, if that makes sense, but hopefully soon, because gosh dang, I miss it. Any future travel plans? Yes, I think I'm going to Bahrain in 2 weeks, which is pretty cool, and then right after that, Japan. I'm going to Japan, my friend Connie. We're gonna stay in a lovely little place, and it's gonna be amazing. I haven't been to Japan in like 3 years, and the food. I'm so excited to have some good sushi. Oh, how's German and Spanish going on Duolingo? I gave up with that like 2-3 months ago. The thing is, Duolingo is not a perfect system. Nothing is. And when it comes to learning a language, I really want to make sure I do it right. And the German to Spanish and Spanish to German tree, there's so many like errors with it that made me go like, I know, that's not necessarily correct. And also, it's just a cluster. Like, it's basically like the original Duolingo where they kind of just were like, learn a language. Whereas if you look at learning Spanish from English, it is so well done, and it's so segmented into little bite-sized bits with lessons and everything, and it's such a good way to learn. And doing that right now and learning Spanish that way, holy crap, I freaking love it. I'm learning so much. Doing it through German, it just made me angry. Not because of my own ignorance of German or my own ignorance of Spanish, but because the way the lessons are taught isn't optimal. But that's good because it's optimal to do it English-Spanish, and I'm totally happy with that. I just have to make sure I'm doing extra reading of German so that I get fresh on that. Basically, I can't kill 2 birds with 1 stone anymore, but that's okay because I got 2 stones. Feeding those birds with the scones, okay? Not trying to anger the vegs. Could you recommend a camera with a good price to performance ratio? Yes, the Canon 70D. For all intents and purposes, it is a great camera if you want to start making videos like this, any other types of videos. It's a really good starter DSLR. Sure, it's a bit of money, but it's pretty much at this point like 3 generations behind. It's the one that I've been using before 3 months ago when I upgraded to this. Before that, every video for 7 years had been with the 70D. It does wonders, especially if you get a good lens with it, but even without it, it's just a really good starter DSLR for making these types of videos, and it's hella cheap, right? So pick one of those up. But also be sure to watch a lot of YouTube tutorials on how to set your camera up in the optimal settings for what you want to do. A lot of people don't know that you need to have your camera's shutter speed to 50 if you're shooting video, otherwise it just doesn't look as nice, doesn't look as normal. It looks kind of weird and jittery and too much information. And so there's a lot of things you need to do to make sure that's a thing. But the aperture, the ISO, and the shutter speed, those are the 3 lighting things you can work on. Just watch some tutorials on that, because figuring that out makes you a better videographer, photographer, and it's just fun to know. What's your favorite benefits so far of working out? I feel a lot more confident in the way I look, and I'm not as ashamed of how I look, basically. My body confidence has gone up because I know I'm putting so much time and effort in, and I can visibly see it. And so, sure, I might not be the most hench guy in the world, but I have so much more definition than I ever did, and it just makes me feel so happy in my own body, if that makes sense. So if you've been considering working out, you don't have to be the craziest, henchest person, but just putting in that effort like 3 times a week, it does wonders for the mental health. So that's it. Thinking of the physical health, but that's also the mental health. Yeah. Have you seen the DM I send you? Oh my God, I cannot believe this is a thing. But this lovely user here has just seen me in the background of someone's Tinder photo when I was at Oktoberfest last week. What are the chances of that? That's always something that I've been curious about. Will someone ever recognize me in the background of someone's tourist photo? There it is. That's me wearing my Oktoberfest garb. If you want to see me wearing my Oktoberfest garb, actually on my travel vlog, bam, right here. Can you believe that? Seamless outro. Thank you guys so much for watching today's Q&A. I hope you very much enjoyed it. If you did, thumbs up. Thank you very much. I make new videos every Sunday. You know all the jibber jabber. We got a travel vlog. We got some other videos. Thanks for stopping on by, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.